Welcome to Just Asia, AHRC TV's weekly human rights program. These are the headlines. Protester critically injured in Tripura, India when police fired without warning. Mother and sons die in menstrual hut in Nepal. Rights groups say 2018 saw a record number of extrajudicial killings in Bangladesh. UN questions Indian state of extrajudicial killings of Muslims. Chicken vendor jailed for lèse-majesté in Cambodia. Pakistan Supreme Court stays execution of mentally ill men. Welcome to AHRC TV Just Asia. I'm Alexandra. This week, Just Asia begins with India's northeastern state of Tripura, where police opened fire without any warning against protesters on January 8th, critically injuring several youth. Mr. Samit Debarma was hit by 2 bullets passing through his lungs, while Mr. Lalit Debarma was hit by 2 bullets in his chest. Both are now in a critical situation. Another youth, Mr. Shakal Debarma, was hit by a bullet on his hips, and the bullet is still stuck inside his body. 2 others were hit by bullets which passed through their legs. All 5 of them are under observation in hospital. The 5 young men were taking part in the region-wide shutdown to protest against the Citizenship Amendment Bill 2016. The bill is seen as highly inimical to the indigenous peoples of the Northeast region. The 5 injured youth had come out on the street together with others and were assembling peacefully at the Madabari area. There were a large number of police personnel deployed there. Suddenly, several police vans arrived and started firing indiscriminately at the protesters without any warning. No water cannons, batons, or loudspeakers were used to warn the protesters. Instead, the police fired upon the civilians soon after alighting from the vans. Additionally, the police did nothing to stop miscreants from attacking the vehicles taking the injured youth to hospital. Another 5 protesters were injured in the attack. A journalist recording the incident was detained, and the police erased the footage from his phone. Since that evening, the internet service and SMS were shut down within the state. Next, in Nepal, a mother and her 2 sons died of suspect smoke inhalation after spending the night in a menstrual hut last week. 35-year-old Amba Bahora, on the 4th day of her period, slept in a hut with her 2 sons aged 12 and 9 with a fire nearby to keep the hut warm on January 8th. Due to the close and cramped room, all 3 died in Nepal's western Bajura district of Nepal. The death of Amber and her children are hardly the first link to the ancient practice of Chhaupadi. Last year, a 21-year-old woman succumbed to smoke inhalation while banished to a hut. Chhaupadi considers women untouchable during menstruation and after childbirth. Women are thus barred from touching food, religious icons, cattle, and men during their period, and must sleep away from others. Linked to Hinduism, the practice was outlawed in 2005, following by a new law in 2017 to criminalize it. But it's still enforced in remote parts of Nepal. While exiled in isolation, some women face bitter cold, attacked by wild animals, and even sexual assaults. Several women have died from snake bites in the past. Unclean conditions can also cause infections. Nepal's law criminalizing Chhaupadi is not enforced strongly. However, aside from law enforcement, there must be a change in behavior and attitude, led by community members. Bangladesh saw 466 extrajudicial killings in 2018, said a local human rights group. In its recent report, Eno Salish Kendra noted that this is the highest number of killings to ever be recorded in Bangladesh. Last year's figure was 162. According to the report, half of these victims were killed during the country's 7-month-long drug war operations, resulting in 292 deaths. Another 67 were victims of political violence, with 34 of them killed in election-related violence prior to the December 30th polls. The Rights Report also documented 732 rape cases. Of these, 63 rape victims were killed, while 7 committed suicide. Additionally, a total of 34 people were victims of enforced disappearance throughout the year, of which 19 people were later traced. AHRC's Executive Director, Shipa Haviza, noted that there is no effective trial and punishment of these crimes, which is why they recur. In India, the UN Human Rights Office of the High Commissioner recently took cognizance of the alarming increase in extrajudicial killings in the northern state of Uttar Pradesh. In a letter to the provincial government, the OHCHR noted 15 such cases, killing over 59 people, most of them Muslims. These encounter killings, while prevalent throughout the country, have recently spiked in Uttar Pradesh, with the full support of the provincial government. Since the new Bharatiya Janata Party government took over in March 2017, and Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath called for the summary elimination of criminals, Uttar Pradesh has seen over 1,000 encounters. The majority of victims belong to marginalized communities, minority groups, backward castes, and Dalits. According to the OHCHR, these encounters usually involved individuals being abducted or arrested before their killing, and their bodies found bearing injuries indicative of torture. There is also police harassment of any family members or human rights defenders taking up their cases. The OHCHR calls for an urgent review of the use of force by the state police, adding that it has not gotten any response to its letter from the Indian government yet. In Cambodia, a 26-year-old chicken vendor has been jailed for 3 years for insulting the king in Facebook posts. This is the second conviction under Cambodia's lese majeste law, anonymously adopted by Parliament last year. According to local media, Iang Cholsa's Facebook post called Kingdom Norodom Shihamoni useless and a dog king, and were uploaded in June last year. Rights Group had expressed concern at the enactment in February 2018 that the law, similar to legislation in neighboring Thailand, could be used to silence government critics. Last October, a court in the northern province of Siem Reap jailed a member of the dissolved opposition Cambodian National Rescue Party under the law. The trials invoking the lese majeste law are often in military courts. In Pakistan, the Supreme Court suspended the Tuesday scheduled execution of a mentally ill former policeman, Khizar Hayat, was sentenced to death in 2003 for killing a fellow officer. Hayat was first diagnosed with schizophrenia by prison authorities and a court-assigned medical board back in 2008 and in 2015. Chief Justice Saqib Nisar in the city of Lahore ordered a new hearing in Hayat's case. According to the Chief Justice, Hayat's case was an issue of human rights and needed to be heard urgently. A 2-judge panel will hear Hayat's mother's petition for his life on Monday. That is all for this episode of Just Asia. For more on this and other issues, please visit www.humanrights.asia or www.arc.asia/justasia. Thank you for watching and see you next week.